Again, well, here it is. I took the tin out. Also, I got that little piece of the transmission, the Volkswagen transmission that was cut. I just made a little bracket to hold on to the motor mount. It's, not the funnest thing to do. It was quite, the flywheel was quite big, so I had to grind the daylights out of the inside of that. But it's not touching, so I wouldn't suggest doing it, but if you have a transmission sitting around that you don't mind destroying, it will work. So tomorrow I will send a scope in there, take the valve covers off, look inside there. It seems to spin okay, but I don't know. I took the drain plug out of it to drain the oil because I don't want to start with that old oil. There was a little bit of water in it. It probably for me when I pressure washed it to get all the junk off of it. But that's pretty much, if you see it, oil's pretty dirty, but I think it's been sitting in that guy's shop for at least 25, almost 30 years, way in the back. So the next step is oil change. It's a 356 motor I got out of a 912. I'm starting to tear it apart. In here, just was a little bit of water in here from the when they put the fire out. It just looked like it didn't get passed through the engine. It's hard to tell, but it was pretty dirty in there. On this side it was better. Probably the fire was more on that side or whatever, but whatever it was, they had more water on that side. If you look in here, you can see where the corrosion started in there. This motor sat probably for about 20 years at the guy's shop. So I was concerned about, I had a feeling I needed to rebuild it, but I got for decent deal for what they sell for today. Here's the inside of it through my camera. I ran a camera in there. And they all look about the same, the pistons. Let me show you, turn it. But they still have all the honing. A little bit of carbon on top, that's typical for the fuel back then. Looking at the spark plugs right here, they don't look like there's any fouling in them. They all look pretty good. I mean, they just sat there for a long time, so I don't know if it darkens from just sitting, but I'm looking at the spark plugs, they look pretty darn decent. There's no oil burning. So hopefully this issue right here didn't hurt it, but it was filled with a lot of calcium from, probably the carburetors, but we're gonna proceed. Also right here, the distributor cap was singed pretty bad, but I opened this up. This was really dirty, so I made a solution of transmission fluid and acetone, and it really penetrates the screws very well to remove stuff. So I sprayed some of it in there and I wiped it up with a towel. I'm not going to replace the points yet. I'm just going to clean the connections. Hopefully it'll get spark. I think the coil got maybe a little bit too much heat to it. I'll figure out if I could test it. But I have some coils sitting around from older cars. But I'm going to hook up the battery and we'll see if it starts. Well, I got the carburetors on. I cleaned the manifolds up with my vapor blaster, and my assistant right here, Pepper Destructo, is here to help me. So now I'm ready to get it to start. Unfortunately, the coil was bad. I had to check it with the ohm meter. So the fire got to it. So it's nice to be this close. Hopefully the points are good enough. I sanded them. I hope the condenser is not bad, but I'll check it for spark before I even hook up a gas can to it. I tried to start the engine. It was puffing and getting ready to start. The carburetors are pretty unbalanced. They're terrible. But this hose blew. It was probably already blown, but it was leaking like a sieve, so have to stop. I'm gonna just do a temporary fix by putting a hose and some hose clamps, but I will not, use this as the permanent fix. It's just to get it started. Unfortunately, I had to put some plastic shims to push the transmission back, and you're probably saying to yourself, oh no, those plastic shims won't hold that engine in place. Well, if you go to downtown LA or New York City or any of these big cities, if you look up these skyscrapers on the window glass panels, they use shims to make it straight, and this is what they use. So it's a little bit of thinking there, but I haven't seen one fall off. I ran the magnet all over the place, just going through it just to look if there's any metal particles. I don't see any big shavings or anything. It's hard to tell because the oil is so dark. But I'm going to put new oil in it. I'm not going to change the filter out. I'm just going to leave it the way it is, just to get it started. But I'd rather have at least new oil in it. And then, like I say, it's gotten spark. I spun it. So the next step is to start it. Well, here it goes. I turned the motor and it sparked a little bit, but had no gas. I just pumped it up with an electric gas pump. I have no fan, nothing hooked up, so it'll run really short if I do start it. Here we go. Let's see if it starts up. It wants to start. Even idle, but oh, I was thinking about oil. That's okay. I can do that whole temporary fix.